Shrugged from Ayn Rand, a best-selling novel. All right, so yeah, page 355. Did you say it's a matter of technology? It's more, much more than that. The pages where he writes about his converter, you can see that premise he's speaking from. He arrived at some new concept of energy. He discharged all of our standard assumptions, according to which his mother would have been impossible. He formulated a new premise of his own, and he solved the secret of converting static energy into kinetic power. I kept this because it's interesting. Sometimes we may think of science and materialism and the world of reason as very static, as if no innovation is possible, thinking that creativity is directly linked to the realm of the heart, and creativity has nothing to do with the mind, which is, of course, false, because you have, if when you create, you always use your reason, right? So, and it's beautiful, like this passage shows how innovation can be achieved, including in the realm of science. So I'll read that part again. He arrived at some new concept of energy. He discharged all our standard assumptions, according to which his mother would have been impossible. He formulated a new premise of his own. So, uh, Ayn Rand regularly says, check your premises. Oh, thank you for that one thumbs up on YouTube. I encourage others to do the same. Thumbs up, right? We are reading Ayn Rand's Atlas Shrugged. And on TikTok, you can just tap on the screen, okay? Yeah, so premise. Ayn Rand says, check your premises. Like, it's like assumptions, yeah? Philosophical and mental assumptions, things we assume to be true or right. So yeah, this passage was beautiful and I chose it for that. And then this passage, I chose it because of the style of Ayn Rand, how she writes her novels. It's just interesting. The same page, 355. So she says, she saw the professional assurance in the swift scanning motion of his eyes. At first, then the pause, then the growing intentness, then a movement of his lips, which from another man would have been a whistle or a gasp. Like how she describes very sometimes subtle things or very ordinary things, and how it's interesting. You know, the way she describes those things, it's interesting. So this is why I chose this passage, because of her style of writing and describing things. That's, you know, that's, I find it interesting. Next. Yes, 356 again, the next page. And it's a quote from one of the characters in the book. That's what I mean. A man with the genius of a great scientist who chose to be a commercial inventor? I find it outrageous. He wanted a motor, and he quietly performed the major revolution in the science of energy, just as a means to an end, and he didn't bother to publish his findings, but went right on making his mother. Why did he want to waste his mind on practical appliances? And the other hero, Dagny Taggart, one of the main characters, answered, perhaps because he liked living on this earth. She said involuntarily. So this, the first speaker, the professor, is a scientist, but he is a scientist who doesn't believe in practical life. He doesn't believe in living mentally honestly, like in integrity, we could say. He thinks that he needs to manipulate, he needs to serve the political needs, and he kind of betrays, in the book, he betrays the cause of reason. So this is why he doesn't like commerce, private business. He established a governmental institute where science was serving the purposes of the government, and that's a very interesting thing. One of the themes in the book, what happens when the government controls the economy, the science, etc. So quite interesting. I think we will speak on this theme again because I have some other passages to quote from. As of now, I'd say that one of his, his most promising student left him, this scientist, the day he established that Institute of Science, which was receiving grants and obeying the government. Okay. And that student of his is a very key character in the whole plot. The main character around whom everything is kind of centered and towards whom everything is gravitating. All right. Those who are just joining us, it's Ayn Rand's Atlas Shrugged. Okay, we're reading the novel. If you're interested in philosophy, personal development, reason, literature, and novels, you will find this very interesting. Thumbs up on YouTube and tapping on the screen on TikTok. Those things are welcome. You can also leave me a little message, say hi, and tell me where are you joining me from the US, from abroad, which state if you are joining me from the US. Okay. Next, page 358. They bare their teeth at you from out of their rat holes, thinking that you take pleasure in letting your brilliance dim them, while you'd give a year of your life to see a flicker of talent anywhere among them. They envy achievement, and their dream of greatness is a world where all men have become their acknowledged inferiors. They don't know that dream is the infallible proof of mediocrity, because that sort of world is what the man of achievement would not be able to bear. Very interesting. Envying achievement. Yes, people envying achievement. People hate, some people at least, hating success and successful. I cannot explain hatred against Israel, for instance, and wider anti-Semitism, or when the rich who became rich thanks to their talent. Even if you inherit a lot of money from your parents, it's so easy to just destroy that wealth, right? But some of them don't do that. Some of them establish prosperous and successful businesses, and sometimes they fail several times, and they learn as they go. But still, they are hated. Yeah. So it makes me sad, but it's important to understand how people's minds work. Yeah, at least some groups, how in collectivism, how success and freedom and beauty are shunned upon. So yeah, that's why I chose to quote from that passage. Yes, from that page. Next, page 361. Oh, yes. But Oren Boyle's best special alloy was some cracking mixture that no one cared to buy. Then he had been told that he could produce written metal in the amount that Oren Boyle could have produced, if he could have produced it. Nobody had known how this was to be determined. Somebody in Washington had announced a figure, naming a number of tons per year, giving no reasons. Everybody had let it go at that. Yes, this is hi Sean Liu. Hey Sean, yeah, long time no see. Welcome back. How are you? This is Atlas Shrugged from Ayn Rand. Okay, have you read the novel? Are you familiar with it? Do you know anything about the philosophy of Ayn Rand? Oh, you're sick. Okay, well, take care. Take good care of yourself, okay? So, how policy is made, uh, especially collectivist policy, and how it works in bureaucracies when it's about around group interests. Yeah, Oren Boyle, who's mentioned here, is a powerful guy, but he's not an honest businessman. He's rich, he's powerful, he's in Washington D.C., he has cronies there, etc. And this is important because people who don't know Ayn Rand's philosophy well, who haven't read the novel, they sometimes falsely think or believe or claim that Ayn Rand is the advocate of the rich. But it's not always the case. In her novels, she has rich characters who are bad, who are dishonest, who are brutes, who are looters, and she also has positive characters that are poor or that reject wealth which is not earned through honest means. So you've got to read her novels and understand her philosophy thoroughly in order not to fall victim to such false claims. Yeah, this was it. Next. The boy had remained silent for a moment, then had said, "You know, Mr. Rudin, there are no absolute standards. We can't go by rigid principles. We've got to be flexible. We've got to adjust to the reality of the day and act on the expediency of the moment." So this is a standard philosophy of people who want to control us and people who refuse and reject reason. And by the way, when you say there are no absolute standards, is it an absolute claim in itself or not? There's nothing absolute. Does it mean that the claim itself is not absolute itself or not? You know, that's an interesting philosophical thought. Should you say, except this idea that there are no absolute standards, everything else is not absolute? Because when you say it in such a term, there are no absolute standards, you kind of absolutize whatever you're saying. Yeah? So it's a trap, you know, it's a trap. People who prefer this type of absolutisms should be kind of, it should be a red flag. Like whenever you hear someone speaking of anybody or nobody or everybody, you should, something should tell you warning, 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 because that's generalization, that's absolutization, and often it's just false, it's unreal, you know. And people who do that, they have their own agenda. They want to convince you, they want to manipulate, they might be dishonest or they might be very superficial and they might not understand what their absolutism entails, you know. I liked. What did you like, Sean Liu? Maybe you should give me a little context. Do you mean the quote or what? Yeah, so this guy is the product of his time and he speaks to the businessman. And then the conversation that follows between him and his boss, to him he was saying those words. I'll read some of it, okay? Mr. Reardon, said the wet nurse, when he heard about the rejected order. You shouldn't have done that. Why not? There's going to be trouble. What kind of trouble? It's a government order. You can't reject a government order. Why can't I? It's an essential need project, and secret too. It's very important. What kind of a project is it? I don't know. It's secret. Then how do you know it's important? It said so. Who said so? You can't doubt such a thing as that, Mr. Reardon. Why can't I? But you can't. If I can't, then that would make it an absolute, and you said there aren't any absolutes. That's different. How is it different? It's the government. You mean there aren't any absolutes except the government? I mean, if they say it's important, then it is. Why? I don't want you to get in trouble, Mr. Reardon, and you're going to sure as hell, etc. So he isn't answering the direct questions of Reardon. And I think those people, they sometimes cannot really hear the other person. They just get stuck. And thank you to the second person on YouTube who gave me thumbs up. I encourage others to do the same, okay? We are reading Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand, all right? And on TikTok, you can tap on the screen, okay? And say hi and tell me where you are joining me from. So, but he was saying there are no absolutes, but now in practical life, he claims to have some absolute, yes, that whatever comes from the government cannot be denied. The contradiction, and Ayn Rand is good at demonstrating all those contradictions. It's beautiful. In different contexts, she demonstrates all those contradictions in a beautiful way. Okay. Yes. From the same page, which is 364, wouldn't that constitute a willful disobedience of the law? It's for you to interpret. May I ask your reason? My reason is of no interest to you. Oh, but of course it is. We are not your enemies, Mr. Reardon. We want to be fair to you. You mustn't be afraid of the fact that you are a big industrialist. We won't hold it against you. We actually want to be as fair to you as to the lowest day laborer. We would like to know your reason. So this is the speech of someone who came to visit Reardon a week later when he refused the government order. And the snakish, I would call it, the snakish language he uses, it's like so representative of a certain type of people, yeah, especially those who hold power or those who are trained in such ways, you know. And this is, I think, well, it might not be about NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, but it might be also. But it's about the usage of the negative. So you mustn't be afraid of something, yeah? We won't hold it against you. So the negative usage, hi there, a Chinese user with Chinese nickname. Are you joining us from China or from the US? So this usage of the negative, but that entails the positive. You know, sometimes when we say things in negative, and in psychology, those who studied some psychology might know this, that sometimes we people are like that. When we say something negative, we mean it. You know, when we say I don't want to say that blah blah blah, sometimes it's very honest, and it is the first thought that was in our mind, yeah, that came to our mind. Like, I don't want to say that this is stupid, but it means we thought that this is stupid, and we haven't given ourselves enough time to analyze and find some other way to put it. And this is why we do that sometimes while speaking, to give ourselves more time to think out loud, you know? Or I don't want to blame you, but it means the person thinks that the other one is to be blamed. Hi, Jordan. What's up? I remind you guys that you can give me a thumbs up on YouTube, and you can tap on the screen on TikTok. And just like Jordan and the Chinese user, you can also say hi. Okay, 8 people are following me on YouTube right now. Yes, the next quote is from page 365. But there can be no justification for a society in which a man is expected to manufacture the weapons for his own murderers. This is, yes, Hank Reardon speaking to this guy who came from Washington, who represents that State Science Institute, of which I already spoke. So, and Reardon tells him that I don't want to manufacture the weapons for my own executioners or murderers, as he puts it. The other person who came from State Science Institute responds, I don't think it's advisable to use such a word, Mr. Reardon. I don't think it's practical to think in such terms. After all, the government cannot, in the pursuit of wide national policies, take cognizance of your personal grudge against some one particular institution. And then the rest of the conversation is also interesting, but I don't want to go, into that. These thoughts is repeated in the novel by Ayn Rand in different ways. And in her philosophy, in the philosophy of objectivism, she uses the following expression, the sanction of the victim. Like it is when you allow someone who tries to harm you or hurt you to do that. Like you gave your sanction, meaning you allow them, you kind of even bless them. You say, that's all right. Try to destroy me. Try to not execute me sometimes. Also, that, although, try to fool me, try to rob me, try to abuse me. That's the sanction of the victim. When the person who is persecuted grants that right to be persecuted, the victim justifies the executioner. That's a very interesting concept. In Christianity, for instance, in many religions and in some philosophies, when you are expected to call yourself sinful, to think of yourself as inferior, negative, bad, etc. That's when you believe it, you are sanctioning your manipulators and your executioners. That's one example of, giving your sanction to those who are coming after you. Or sometimes in social life, in politics, we can take the case of internalized homophobia or transphobia. When a gay person internalizes the hatred and they say, yes, the conservatives are right, or the Bible is right, homosexuality is a sin, blah, 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 and they start justifying hatred, they start justifying persecution. That's another form of sanctioning your executioners, sanctioning those who persecute you. That's such a very, very interesting concept when you think profoundly around those, concepts. Or a woman, like in Islam, if we take Islam for instance, when wearing a hijab or a burqa, like covering your head, is mandatory, and women justify that. They say, oh no, we choose that. It's not really that Islam is forcing us, although it is forced, right? And those who do not do that are not welcome, to say the least, right? And sometimes they are punished, they are being killed, like in Iran, when we had those uprisings because a woman, Mahsa Amini, if I'm right, she was like murdered in a police station in Iran because she didn't cover all her hair. So that's another sanction of the victim. When the victim, it's like the Stockholm syndrome, yeah, when you start justifying the criminals or people who want to oppress you. That's a very interesting concept, and when you think around these concepts profoundly, that's a way towards liberation. That's a way towards growth, intellectually and practically speaking. Those ideas are very interesting and important to think around. You know. Next, and for those who are just joining me, we are reading Ayn Rand's Atlas Shrugged. Okay. Next is from page 366. As a matter of fact, the law does not permit you to refuse to sell your metal to any consumer, let alone the government. Well, why don't you arrest me then? Mr. Reardon, this is an amicable discussion. Why speak of such things as arrests? Isn't that your ultimate argument against me? Why bring it up? Isn't it implied in every sentence of this discussion? Why name it? Why not? There was no answer. Are you trying to hide from me the fact that if it weren't for that trump card of yours, I wouldn't have allowed you to enter this office? But I'm not speaking of arrests. I am. I don't understand you, Mr. Reardon. I am not helping you to pretend that this is any sort of amicable discussion. It isn't. Now do what you please about it, etc. This is the same conversation between Henry Reardon, the industrialist, the rich businessman who built his wealth on his own. He was an orphan, he went through poverty, and he, just like in real life, he built his own wealth from scratch through honest means, through working in mines, and then starting his own, buying his own mine. And we have real life stories like this. And interestingly, the far left hates these stories, like when people build wealth through honest means. On social media, they often try to create this illusion or spread the narrative that any rich person either robbed others, especially the so-called working class, or they inherited their wealth from their family. And it's not always the case. We have real life stories of people who created their wealth, including, by the way, the author of this novel, Ayn Rand. There she is. She immigrated into the U.S. from the former USSR. She was born in Tsarist Russia, and when she moved into the US, she was very poor. Hi there. And she created her own wealth. Say that again? We could. Would you be interested in a discussion though? Do you know Ayn Rand? So my life is about philosophy and literature. Would you be interested in a conversation around those topics? Philosophy, for instance? Okay, so because in terms of match, you are going to win. I have zero followers online. Let's do this. Oh, oh, cool. All right. Yeah, so I was talking about the fact that she immigrated from the former USSR, and she was very poor, and she created her own wealth through her own work. Like she wrote novels, and this one was rejected. Yeah, yeah, I'm reading from her novel. I'm telling you about her. No, no, no. I'm telling you about the author. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So Ayn Rand is her name, her literary name. Okay, it's this lady here. So I was saying that she came to the U.S. She was very poor, but she, created her way up. She actually invented her own philosophy, which is rare. And yeah, a very interesting example. It's fiction. It's a novel. It's about so many different topics. So okay, basically it's called Atlas Shrugged. In her universe, the Atlas is the creative, free, and rational human being. Like if reason is that thing that drives you uh, forth in your life, then you can be an atlas. As opposed to, let's say, very religious or very emotional people who reject reason and who say, oh no, it's not about understanding reality, it's about believing something, or it's about my feelings, the way I feel, and I don't care about facts and reality. You know? Yeah. Yeah. Mm, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. And that's an interesting question because sometimes, oh, thank you to Animal Protection. Oh, hi there. Oh, it's my student. Hello, and thank you for tapping on the screen. Yeah, yeah, I'm a tutor. Yes, so it's my student there. Um, right now, mostly I teach English, but I also teach French. No, 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 no. Anybody. Yeah. Right now, I also have like children, like two kids, but this guy is an adult. He's 30 something. No, 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 no. He's 30 something, just like me. Oh, 40. Originally Armenia, but I live in California now. Yeah. Yeah. Mm, now it's much better for me. 12 years ago, when I came here, I was like, no, it's not my vibe. It's too relaxed. But right now, I chose this as, the place where I will stay. And by the way, she also lived in LA, just like myself, Ayn Rand. Okay. First, she lived in New York, where she was a waitress. What about Canada? Do you want to come to Canada? The weather. I hate, the cold weather, unfortunately. Oh. Oh, I don't know what happened to my TikTok live. It just stopped abruptly. So sad. Terrible. Resume live. Oh wow. So sad. I was talking to that person. TikTok, you're so bad. The heck? The heck? What happened? Okay, I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry about that. It's just crazy TikTok. I don't know what happened. It just threw me off the live. And that's it. Alright, well, we could maybe connect again if she's... Oh yeah, there she is, Alex. Yeah, so Ayn Rand. What I was saying. Yes, and she's another example of that, by the way. She is someone who created her wealth on her own, you know? Okay, let's take another quote from page 371. Let's see. I'd see people who sat trembling in awe before their own gold dishes and lace tablecloths, as if their dining room were the master and they were just objects serving it, objects created by their diamond shirt studs and necklaces, not the other way around. Then I'd run to the site of the first slag heap I could find, and they'd say that I didn't know how to enjoy life because I cared for nothing but business. It's about, yes, these are the words of Henry Reardon, that rich business person. I've never despised luxury, he said, yet I've always despised those who enjoyed it. This is his way of, this inner rebellion against the fact that sometimes people fall victim. Hi, Sean, and bye bye. See you. Yeah, thanks for being with me. It was nice seeing you around. Okay. Yeah, so sometimes, wealth corrupts. Yeah, money corrupts, power corrupts, but it's not just money, and arguably, it probably wouldn't be just power per se. Although, I don't know. That's an interesting thought, but I think if you don't know who you are and what you want, then yes, you are prone to the corruption. But that's because you do not have this inner anchor, this point of gravity in your consciousness, in your conscious, not just conscious, but I want to make the separation between subconscious and conscious. So it should be conscious. Like you should consciously know what this point of gravity is and why it matters to you. And if you don't have that anchor or that point of gravity, then you will be more prone to corruption. Yeah, this is how I would put it. And it can be about money, it can be about power, it can be other things in life. But mostly it's because you don't know who you are and what you want from life. You do not have this decent, rational philosophy in your life, you know? So the last one. Yeah, okay, I'll read this last one for you guys for today and we'll wrap it up. Page 372. Dagny, look at those people. They're supposed to be the playboys of life. The amusement seekers and luxury lovers. They sit there waiting for this place to give them meaning, not the other way around. But they are always shown to us as the enjoyers of material pleasure. And then we're taught that enjoyment of material pleasures is evil. Enjoyment? Are they enjoying it? Isn't there some sort of prevention in what we're taught? Some error that's vicious and very important? Very interesting. He's super rich, this guy, but he's honest, he's decent, he's rational, yeah? And this idea, like waiting for this place to give them meaning, not the other way around. This happens, I think this is one of the reasons why people have this so-called, what is it called in English? Middle age crisis, if I'm not mistaken. Because you pursue some external things, it can be recognition, money, career, wealth, and you think when you achieve that, then everything will be great. Like when I have a well high paying job or when I'm respected and recognized, then things will be awesome. And often people find themselves there, like they reach that point and they still are not happy. Oh, here we go. Hi, Jordan. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, and then they are not sure why, they don't understand it, and sometimes you are taught that. I know someone who is going through a very bad crisis right now because his wife left him. I honestly doubt that even his marriage was something that he was expected to perform for the sake of his family. And sometimes even marriage, like even when people choose to marry, they choose to form a bond or make a new family with someone else. Sometimes, especially in a very collectivist cultures, and I'm speaking of a fellow Armenian, so his culture is very collectivist too. Like we are indoctrinated from a very early age and on that we are going to get married, we're going to have kids, and that's the greatest thing you'll ever do. And I'm not sure if the person is really suffering because of only because of his personal emotions towards that person, although he loved her profoundly. But my guess is that it was the central meaning of his life, like having a wife, having children, and he was taught that from early childhood. And he's suffering because he only knew that, he only was going towards that thing, and his suffering is sort of brought upon him by that. Hi there. Someone's mic is malfunctioning, guys. Okay, I'm just disconnecting because something is wrong. Okay. No, that was crazy. Yeah, not always the perfect solution. Jordan, yeah, what do you mean? What is not the perfect solution? Um, the perfect solution would be to know thyself, as they say, and to know yourself, learn about yourself. Who am I? What do I want? And when those desires come from within, profoundly, like you have analyzed them, and you understand that it's not, taught from the external world, then it can be a good solution. It can be the same thing, like earning enough money. Or, although you should be more specific than that, what do you mean enough? How much is enough? And what do you mean by that? Let's say $1 million. When you earn that amount, what happens next? You know, does the world stop, or are you, do you unlock some magical powers? Life goes on, right? So I have some of those goals too, but I understand that those are means to an end. Like, what is your end? That's very important. The end of many people is fear based. And in Armenian culture, we have this funny and stupid saying. They say you have to get married and have a kid in order to have someone that will bring you a glass of water when you are too old and too sick and cannot walk, which is very stereotypical and which cannot always be the case. Sometimes, including in Armenia, Armenian children do that too. Sometimes, children give away their parents. The parents are sent somewhere, yeah, to those senior health, what is it called, centers, those special houses, etc. So, oh, thank you, boss. Thank you for following and thank you for liking the live. For people who are just joining me, I read Ayn Rand's Atlas Shrugged and I quote from the book and I share my thoughts around these things. So, yeah, that may not even be a reliable solution. Your kids can send you. Oh, someone wanted to join, but I just saw that and they are gone. Well, whoever that was, if you ask again, I will be happy to connect you, okay? Yeah, sorry about that. Hi, Witching Well, if you're still watching. Yeah, so if you say, like, my end is to have kids, what do you expect from that? Um, do you expect your kids to be the exact copies of yourself? Hi there, Witching Well, and welcome.
Hi, how are you?
I'm okay, how are you?
Oh, I'm good. I just came on to say hi. I
Ah,
probably shouldn't because I'm sleepy, but
it's
I
okay.
just saw you and I was like, oh,
Yeah, that's fine. You
what's
can leave
up?
whenever you feel like leaving, okay?
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, sure.
How's your night?
Yeah, it's fine, it's fine. I'm just doing live, reading Ayn Rand's book and sharing my thoughts around her. Atlas Shrugged. So, yeah,
Cool.
let me just respond to Jordan here on YouTube. Not exactly dismissal here. Okay, okay. And I see your hi, Jordan. You said hi again. Yeah, yeah. All right, gotcha. So how is your night going? Witching well.
Pretty good. I'm allergic to cats, and
Oh,
so I had to take a Benadryl, so I passed out.
oh, wow. No, fortunately I
My
don't have that.
Oh, you don't have a cat allergy?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cats, dogs,
Like,
I love them.
I thought I'd be okay, but then I was like, I'm dying. I said the wrong word, but
Crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. So you're feeling better now.
I'm better. I'm just like wonky.
Wow.
Just like,
Wow, that's insane. So did you know that you had allergy or this was new for you? Like you discovered that?
I knew, but I tried to like stay kind of away from the cat, but I think it's just in the air. There's nothing I could do. It was at a bookshop.
Oh,
And so
oh,
my little 2-year-old was like, oh, I want to play the cat toy. And she handed me a cat toy. I was like, oh,
Oh.
uh-oh.
Wow, even from the cat toy. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Insane. Yeah, I want to have a cat. Back in my home country, I had one, and I'm thinking of maybe adopting one here in California too someday. Yeah,
Do it.
yeah, yeah. So, would you like to talk a little bit about the topic, philosophy in general?
I don't
Yeah,
know. Let's see how it goes.
yeah, like very
Side
general.
note, are you in Northern or Southern California?
Southern California, LA.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
We're gonna go there.
Oh, okay.
Um, when are we going? Isn't it September 25th?
Oh, pretty
Yeah.
soon. Hmm, pretty soon.
We
Okay.
like Disneyland.
Oh yeah, I love it too. I've been to Disneyland here and in Paris. And I think it's sort of a life goal, to visit as many Disneylands as possible throughout.
Me too.
Oh, okay. And Harry
Me too.
Potter's. Yeah, I think Harry Potter's theme parks, in the US and in Japan, that would be an experience of a lifetime, too.
Have you been to the one in Florida?
Not yet, not yet. Have you?
It's cool. Hmm.
Oh, wow. Awesome. Yeah, so
I
philosophy.
love Harry Potter. Sorry,
Yeah,
go
me
ahead.
too.
Philosophy.
Yeah, philosophy in general, and we could maybe tie philosophy to Harry Potter because there's a lot of philosophy in there too. So, in terms of philosophy, do you like any particular philosophy?
Honestly, I don't know that I have ever really studied a lot of philosophy. I just
Mm-hmm.
kind of, I, no, I don't think so. John,
Oh,
do you study philosophy? No, he's historical.
yeah.
He likes all of that, like the history of man. I don't know if it's all like
Mm-hmm.
philosophy, but it might be a little. No, he said no.
Yeah.
It's my husband. He's here too.
Okay. Hi, John.
He says hi. He's home.
Okay.
He's eating Doritos.
All right. Well, in
You can talk about philosophy, and I can try to
yeah, yeah, yeah,
connect with
yeah,
you.
sure. So, would you describe yourself like what's more important to you? Faith, emotions, or reason and facts?
Uh, I don't know if faith is, but I'm pretty anti-religion.
Mm-hmm.
Um, not much I can do about that. It's just because of it. It's too political and controlling in general.
Yeah, yeah.
So, fact, facts are good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like spiritual, but it's not religious at all.
Okay, okay. So when you say spiritual, that's interesting. What does it mean to you? How are you spiritual?
Um, that's a really good question because it's people have their own definition of
Mm-hmm.
spirituality.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm just like I do like readings or like tarot readings that feel
Oh.
like people's emotions or like can kind of feel what's coming up for people or feel what has happened to people.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, that it connects people um, to be able to feel their experiences or know or see them because I kind of can sense things that happen with people sometimes. So spiritual is like maybe not a great word. It's just more like connected to others in a way
Hmm.
that maybe um, not everybody connects to.
Yeah. I have some experience with that too. Like I used to sort of play with the tarot cards myself, and sometimes do readings, and some of them, it's like when you sort of see things, and then it makes like a lot of sense to the person for whom you're doing that. And once I did that with even like the ordinary deck of cards, and the person was like, "Yes, it's exactly what you're saying," and this was very practical and very useful for me. The person said, "Oh, Jordan says, oh, he says horse shit. Don't buy into this garbage." I think you mean what Witching Well says, Jordan. You mean tarot reading? Okay, but still, I kind of understand that. For me, it's not even supernatural. My problem with that is, first, it's not very reliable in the long run, and second, still there is a lot of chance, and when it's just what do we call that? Not luck, but when coincidence. I think that's the word I'm looking for. There's a lot of, I suspect there is some contradiction around it. And that's, yeah, that's why, especially when it comes to our social lives, political lives, organizing the society, I think it's very subjective. Like, I don't want to deny those things, I want to explore them. But when it comes to religion and politics and people doing those things like spirituality or emotions, like I feel this or I have visions, that leads to very bad places often, in terms of,
Yeah.
that's my main issue with those things, to be honest. Other than that, like, this thing behind me kind of reminds me of the sun in the tarot deck, one of the major arcanas or arcanes.
Yeah.
uh, do I remember that correctly?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, yeah. And also here
I
uh-huh.
I like to study the history of tarot.
Mm-hmm.
Not just like a lot of people ignore a lot of the earlier tarot makers.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of went to the guy who made the first guidebook
Mm-hmm.
that we
Mm-hmm.
could really pinpoint
Yeah.
in history. So I used different meanings than a lot of people do, and I know
Mm-hmm.
that that's like doesn't really make make anyone think it's more accurate. But for
Yeah.
the game that it is made from, like the basis of it,
Yeah.
I feel like my readings are accurate.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They've been accurate anyways. I've
Yeah.
predicted things like people's like untimely demise, um,
Mm.
or like what people need to do before that. Uh,
Oh,
I've
let
predicted
me
like
clarify. Sorry for interrupting. Like, you predicted that this person is going to like pass away, and it happened.
yeah, and it was like
Wow.
it was in a tarot reading that because I do therapy with people, and this
Yeah.
lady wanted me to do tarot because she knew that I was into it, and
Mm-hmm.
so that was really hard. But she let me do it, and I was like, "Have you gotten all your affairs in order?"
Mm.
And because I didn't want to say like you're going to pass away, that's a really horrible therapy
Yeah.
session.
Yeah.
But I had to like tell her like it's really the time is like right now. If you don't do this, you're gonna lose. Like your family's gonna lose everything
Yeah.
that you have and that you
Yeah.
worked for. And I told her how it was gonna happen, and then within like the time frame that I gave them, it was like 6 weeks. She
Mm.
did.
Wow. And
So
that.
I believe in it because of the things that I've experienced.
See, the way I would put that now, based on my understanding, instead of even the word believing, yeah, that's, you have the right to use it, yes, but now I'd like to also say my point of view. I would say I conclude that there is some truth to it, because had, not that type of dramatic thing, but um, it's like, our minds are sometimes like our smartphones or the radio, like, and the thoughts are waves that are traveling, yeah, through our voice or probably otherwise too. So there is this receptiveness. Some minds are able to receive a lot of information about the other person and about, things. So for me, it's kind of, it's not supernatural. It's even material. Even thoughts are material, but it's just subtle matter. And in this context, I think of it all as something that is still part of our rational and materialist universe. It's just that, sometimes things, when they start, they are very small and they slowly grow. And science is like that too, right? When science started 150 or 200 years ago, approximately, if we don't count, the ancient Greek and other scientists, it was small, and the ideas were more rigid, and slowly it grows, and one day it may encompass those things that we currently consider supernatural or inexplicable. And I think that ability of seeing more things, yeah, is part of that too. So I'd say I conclude that there is reality to, or some reality to those things, instead of just saying I believe in it.
Supernatural is a hard concept to get behind because I think from the time of like, you know, when people were hunters and gatherers,
Mm-hmm.
people would have to track their food.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the time, in different tribes in Africa, they would do like hunting.
Yeah.
And when they would hunt, they would have to track.
Yeah.
And sometimes they couldn't see where their game went.
Yeah.
So they would have to like use their senses to find it. Not just the, the marks, the footprint, but
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they had to get into like a different part of their like unconscious mind to
Mm-hmm.
actually complete that
Mm-hmm.
hunt.
Hmm.
So they would, I think it's called, um, I'll have to look it up, but it was like distance hunting or like
Hmm.
I have to look it up. I forgot, but there's like a really good little documentary. It's only a few minutes long
Mm-hmm.
that explained how they actually completed that process. So I think people innately have to use intuitive methods to survive
Mm-hmm.
in many situations. Um, I don't know if you call it luck.
Hmm.
It doesn't have to be supernatural,
Yeah.
but sometimes you get a gut feeling of
I.
what is the way to survive a situation. And I feel like that's the basic premise that I operate on when I do any kind of,
Hmm.
sensing or so. Is it fake? I don't think so. I think everybody does it. So,
Yeah, that was beautiful, and the way you put it, it's the basic premise I operate on, yes, or from. That was well said. It's language that Ayn Rand would have liked. She regularly says, check your premises in her philosophy. Um, and today, when I was reading, one of the passages was also about premises, so that was beautiful. And here on YouTube, Jordan said, no, absolutely not, so he doesn't think that what you said is garbage. I misunderstood him. And then he wrote, this woman is right, talking about you. And then he says, whoa,
hi,
whoa.
Jordan.
Some days, sorry, I'm hammered, he says. Okay. So, Jordan, yes, you should give some more context with your commentaries, Jordan, okay? Sometimes I don't understand what you mean, okay? Especially because your comments may arrive a little later. I might have said something and then moved on, then your comment arrives a little later. Okay, I think I will and wrap it up for today. It was nice chatting with you, wishing well. Thank you for coming up. It was great. Oh, and thank you, El
You
Papi,
too.
for following me. Big high five to you. Take care, and hopefully we'll talk more. Okay, on those themes.
I would
These,
love you. I
yeah.
would love to hear you teach about chess. It's really
Oh,
interesting. It also ties to the tarot because
oh,
it was a game. So I
yeah.
love that video.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, I have several, I think at least four of them now. And then of course, I'll go ahead and make more content on chess. Yeah, that's one of the subjects, by the way, I teach as a private tutor as well. So, guys, if anyone is interested, English, French, chess, philosophy, I also teach them privately. Okay. So, high five to you again, and see you, and I'll make new chess videos as well. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. And you guys on YouTube, bye as well. You can subscribe to my YouTube, okay? And in the playlists, I have a separate playlist. I think it's titled Atlas Shrugged. Much love though, big fan. Thank you, Jordan. Thank you so much. A big high five to you too, okay? Take care, and thanks for the thumbs up, and thanks for the comments. I encourage you to also share these lives on your social media, because among your friends there might be some fans as well. It's sort of educational, it's about spreading some good concepts from philosophy, reason, the meaning of life, the importance of knowing yourself, and building a life of joy, happiness, well being, as opposed to suffering and misery and hatred. So, all the best.